right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another nonfiction deep dive with White Fragility by Robin DiAngelo. This is video number 10. And in this, I read up to page 131, the start of chapter 11. And this section had a lot of examples of ways in which white people will try to deflect or be defensive when they are accused of being racist and their white fragility comes out. They will always have something to say, and they try to change the topic to them being attacked. So that's what this section was about, and I'll talk about it. So when white people's assumptions and behaviors on race are challenged, they feel attacked, judged, guilty, insulted. And they end up crying or denying or leaving or avoiding the conversation. They claim to exempt accountability. So making excuses for racism or becoming defensive when it comes to racism, to not do that, we have to really look at ourselves, like in self-reflection, and do that daily. So the white racial assumptions and the behaviors they engender protect racism. It's almost virtually impossible to give white people feedback on racism without some pushback. They will always think you are attacking their character because of the good-bad binary that people believe racism is. Racism is the norm rather than an aberration. Our attitude should be when confronted about racism. So our attitude when someone says that we did something wrong or they want to talk about racism, our attitude should be one thing, and that is saying thank you. And we must accept our ignorance about race and about racism. Without accepting our ignorance, believing that we already know, then we will more than likely fail in the future. The goal of anti-racist work is to identify and challenge racism and the misinformation that supports it. It's important to know that all perspectives are not equally valid. So the antidote to white fragility is to build up a stamina to talk and accept racism conversations. So when someone comes to us and says something that we've done or said that might have been racist, we need to separate the way that it was told to us and look at the feedback, like what was actually said, except rather than the way it was said. Because if someone's upset with us for saying something racist, and we dwell on them being upset, we're not accepting their message. We have to accept the message and kind of ignore the delivery. When we move beyond the good-bad binary of what racism is, we can become eager to identify our racist patterns, because interrupting those patterns become more important than how we look to other people. Stopping racist patterns must be more important than working to convince others that we don't have those patterns. So I think that really sums up a lot of what this book is saying, that we have to move beyond that good-bad binary, and we have to be willing and eager to identify our racist patterns and not care how other people perceive us when we're working on these issues. And it's so much more important to work on the thing than trying to convince ourselves and others that we don't have racism. So that was the 10th section that I've read. So for tomorrow, I'm actually going to finish the book. So from chapter 11 on, I believe it's only about 25 pages left, I think. So I'm going to try to finish it up tomorrow. And then after that, I'm going to reread it. But when I reread it, I'm going to try to pick out the most important points, the things that are the ideas that I want to keep in my mind for like years to come, things that I can say in conversations. And that will be my goal in rereading, is to find things that, you know, I can remember, quote, and say in conversation. So I'll see you tomorrow when I'll finish up the book, and then that should be good. Adios.